I want to talk just a minute about the table saw sled. It's one of the smartest ways to cut small parts. You can use a stop block and you can make repeat cuts, and you can cut, and every piece will be exactly the same. However, there are some things that you need to know. Now, the first thing is I would never make a cut like that. And the reason is that this little piece of wood would be trapped and loose between the saw blade and the stop block. And that's kind of that spells disaster. It could be a piece that would be thrown at me, or it could hit the blade so hard that it would jerk my stop block over and throw the position off. But now, there are very simple things that you can do to make this safe. The main thing is to keep that piece of wood under control at all times, and it needs very little more than a pencil eraser end to hold it in place. So that is one way that you can cut very small pieces. I want to show you another, and this one is called a sliding stop block. And so if I position this like that, exactly where the other cut was being made, and I clamp this part of the sliding stop block in securely in place, you can see how this slides out of the way. It slides up tight, and then it slides out of the way. So let me try this, and I'll see what happens. On a small piece of wood like that, generally the air moving from the blade is enough to push it aside. But now you have to be sure that you have used the sliding stop block and moved it safely out of the way. You can, if you're ever in doubt, you can always come back and the great thing about the eraser end of a pencil, now you have to be sure that you don't use any kind of metal object that would communicate into the blade that there's something conductive. But a great thing about that is you can see I can just kind of use the pencil to flip it out of the way. Now, I want to show you another hold down. Now, this is my own invention, and it's called a box turtle. And I have a lot of students that don't have the same amount of hand strength that I do, and they're concerned about where am I going to put my other hand. Now you can see that this hand goes safely there, and I can use it to hold that down. This hand is on the other side, and you want your hands balanced as they come through the cut, rather than on one side or another where you're torquing the sled. You want it to go forward and back. So if I want to make a cut safely and have it held down securely on both sides, I can use my box turtle. Now that's goofy, right? It's for box making, and it's shaped like a turtle or a tortoise. So I just call it that because I don't know what else to call it. But I have some sandpaper at the bottom, which makes it a little more effective in holding its grip. But what this does is it gives students a way to be sure that you have your hands safely out of the way. Now this block at the back of the sled, you see that, and that's not a handle. Now sometimes my students will say, oh, I'm going to put my hand there because it looks like a handle, and it's not a handle. It's designed to keep the blade under wraps when the sled is at the end of its motion. So there are no surprises at the back side of the sled to put your hands at any risk. And Again, I can use a stop block, clamp that in place, and I can cut as many pieces as I want and have them all be the same length.